Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Take Five. And thank you so much for taking time to, well, I'm trying to do this here. Yeah, taking time to study the Bible with me. Um, Last time Moses asked God to show him his glory. All right. And God said, okay, I'm going to have to put you in the cleft of the rock there. I have to put my hand in front of you. But all right. So God's about to show Moses his glory, but he's got something for Moses to do first, and something real important. So Exodus 34, verse 1, the Lord said to Moses, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Okay, God's reminding Moses, look, you got a little bit of a temper here, buddy. We made these 2 tablets, and you got mad, and you broke them. Well, you got to do it again. All right, verse 2, be ready in the morning and then come up on Mount Sinai. Present yourself to me there on top of the mountain. No one is to come with you or be seen anywhere on the mountain. Not even the flocks and herds may graze in front of the mountain. God's saying, all right, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna show myself to you. All right, but you gotta do those tablets again. You gotta make those 10 commandments again. You gotta chisel them out. All right. Moses really wants to see God's glory. So verse 4, Moses chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and went up Mount Sinai early in the morning. Remember, he's the only one. Not even the animals can come anywhere near there, okay? As the Lord had commanded him, and he carried the two stone tablets in his hands. All right, because God's going to have to write the 10 commandments on them again. All right. Verse 5, then the Lord came down in the cloud and stood there with him and proclaimed his name, the Lord. And he passed in front of Moses, proclaiming the Lord, the Lord. Okay, and that word actually is Jehovah. All right, but in this translation it says the Lord. The Lord, the compassionate and gracious God. And isn't that good to know that God's compassionate and gracious? Listen to the description of him. Slow to anger. Aren't you glad God is slow to anger? Abounding in love and faithfulness. Maintaining love to thousands and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Oh, I'm so glad God's like that. God's gracious. God is quick to forgive, and he's loving and kind. All right. There's another aspect, though. We've got to keep reading. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of the parents to the 3rd and 4th generation. All right. And this is what God says when he passes in front of Moses. And maybe that last part you thought, well, that doesn't seem fair. All right. Well, if it is, of course it's fair if it's what God's going to do. Anything God does fair, if we understand it. And what he's talking about here is a generational curse. If you sin, God will punish your children and their children and their children, 3rd and 4th generation. All right. Now, it doesn't mean that it means there's going to be issues they're going to have to deal with because of what you do. God's not, and God's not doing that because he's unfair. He's doing that because he's serious about sin. He doesn't want you to sin. The simple fact is your sin does affect your kids. Don't you think that the sins that your mom and I committed have affected you? Certainly. Okay, and I know it's painful to talk about, but our divorce certainly affected you. Okay, and it's going to affect your kids and their kids and their kids, because there's aspects of your life that aren't going to be quite the same as they would have been. Don't you think that anger and when we used to fight and stuff, that affected you? Of course it does. Okay, and so you're going to have to pay to some degree for the sins of your parents. Your kids are going to pay for your sins too. So the idea there, don't worry so much about, okay, that doesn't seem fair. What I want you to look at is try not to sin. Okay, try to be somebody that loves God and honors God. Now, I will also say, though, as far as that's called a generational curse. I believe, and I'm not 100% on this, so don't, okay, I'm not a Bible expert. I don't claim to be a Bible expert. I do believe, though, that when Jesus came to the cross, I believe the Bible teaches that he broke those curses. So while there still are certainly going to be impacts of what you do for your kids, it's not necessarily as strong if you're a Christian. All right. I hope that made some sense. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure I completely understand it. There's a lot of stuff in the Bible I don't understand because God is God. And the cool thing here, though, and I'm going to just stop here. I'm going to just call it those 7 verses is all we're going to do today. The cool thing is, though, God showed Moses his glory, and Moses asked him to. And I believe when we ask God to show us his glory and do that on a regular basis, that he will. Maybe not like he did here with Moses, with cloud and talking to him and all that. But we will see more and more of God's glory. And of course, we saw his glory when Jesus came. And the closer we get to God, the more we'll see his glory. And the more we'll actually reflect his glory. All right. And that's what I want to leave you with today, is try to get close to God, see his glory, his glory. Okay. Hey, maybe all that. Go back and read it again. Come up to your own conclusions. And I know I went a little long today and yesterday, but we're talking about the glory of God. So it's an important subject. Love you so much for watching. See you tomorrow in the next edition of Take 5.